Hi guys, today I'm sharing a reading and reflection from the 40 Rules of Love by El Shafak. So I finally decided to post a review on my day-to-day routine. This book is not just a story, it is about love, transformation, and if you're someone who's spiritual and faithful towards God, and this book is for you. This book tells two parallel stories. One is about Ella, a woman living very ordinary life. She has a family, a routine, but deep inside she feels empty, like something is missing. The second story takes us into the past, into the spiritual journey of Rumi and Shams of Tabriz. When Shams enters Rumi's life, everything changes. Their friendship is not ordinary, it is intense, spiritual, and transformative. As Ella reads this story, her own life begins to change. She starts questioning everything: love, fear, routine, and what if really means to live. And slowly, she realizes that life is not about just existing, but about feeling, growing, and transforming, right? The 40 Rules of Love, simplified, you don't need to remember all 40 rules, but their essence is powerful. Love is not something outside, it begins within us. The way we see others is a reflection of ourselves. Change is not something to fear, it is necessary for growth. True love transforms you, it doesn't keep you the same. Patience is not waiting, it is trusting the process of life. Every person we meet has a role in our journey. Pain is not meaningless, it teaches and shapes us. The heart knows things the mind cannot understand. Let go of control, life flows better when you trust it. Loneliness comes when we lose connection with ourselves. So, these are the gem lines which I really like to highlight. It is not just aesthetic, it also talks more louder about feeling good, about feeling alone with your own selves. Sometimes we are surrounded by people but still feel lonely, yes or no? And sometimes we are alone, we feel peaceful. So, I wanted to highlight one of my favorite lines of this book. It talks about loneliness and being alone. So, being alone is something very subjective to myself. So, let me just read those lines, which is the sixth rule of 40 Rules of Love. Loneliness and solitude are two different things. When you are lonely, it is easy to delude yourself into believing that you are on the right path. But solitude is better for us as it means being alone without feeling lonely. But eventually, it is the best to find a person who will be your mirror. Remember, only in another person's heart can you truly see yourself and the presence of God within you. By Shams of Tabriz. Stay in the same place, the same routine, because it feels safe. But growth only happens when we step into the unknown. This book also taught me that not all stories are meant to last forever. Some are meant to awaken us. And maybe life is not about finding the perfect moment, but about becoming the person who can feel deeply, love deeply, and live fully. This was a small reading from the 40 Rules of Love. If you've ever felt lost, this book reminds you that transformation is about possibility. So, in one part of the book, Ella Rubinstein lives a very routine, which is predictable life, but she finds no joy and no happiness in her married life, wherein her children do not value her and she feels completely lost. But everything begins to change when she starts reading a manuscript written by Aziz Zahara. This connection starts through emails and written words, almost like a modern day love letters. At first, it feels simple, just conversations, but slowly, those words begin to touch something deep within her. She then realizes she has been emotionally distant for years. She has forgotten what it feels like to truly love and be loved. Those messages are not just romantic, they are awakening. Through his words, Ella begins to rest in her life. She likes, and the most desperate about Ella is finding Aziz's messages and emails. So they finally get to meet each other, but the destiny goes about sad. Aziz falls sick out of a disease, and Ella has very less time to confess a love, and the story ends with a very reconnect with herself, understanding love beyond routine. It begins with words, with connections, with something that slowly awakens your soul. So it's not just a story, but Ella stays with Aziz until his last breath out of the manuscript which started, and she connects and accepts the fate and enjoys every single moment with Aziz. Not all love stories start in reality. Some begin with words, with conversations, and slowly they change everything within us. I loved enjoying the book. Everything within it seemed to be a sparkle connecting to our own lives, which was relatable. See you next time.